Do not scroll. There is a reason you stopped here, and it is not accidental. What you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. It was meant for you. Archangel Michael speaks now, my beloved child. Before your mind tries to understand, let your spirit listen. There is a question that has followed you through quiet nights and crowded days. A question you rarely speak out loud, but heaven has heard every whisper of it. Who is the one meant for me? Why have I waited this long? And why does my heart feel as though it is remembering someone it has not yet met? Hear this carefully. You are not imagining this. You are not behind. And you are not forgotten. What is unfolding now was sealed long before your first breath. You have walked through seasons that broke parts of you. You smiled when you were tired. You stayed strong when you wanted to collapse. And there were nights when you pressed your face into your pillow and wondered if love was only for others. But heaven was not silent. Heaven was strategic. Every delay was protection. Every separation was alignment. Every disappointment removed a version of love that would have limited you. And now, the veil is thinning. I need you to stay with this message, not out of curiosity, but out of obedience. Because what is being stirred right now is not comfort. It is revelation. Your soulmate is not a theory. They are not a fantasy. They are a living, breathing soul whose name has been written beside yours in eternity. And yes, that name is already circling your life. You have seen it more than once, heard it in passing, felt a strange pause when it appeared, a moment where your chest tightened and you did not know why. That was not coincidence. That was recognition, trying to rise before the appointed time. Understand this. The enemy knew the power of this union long before you did. That is why confusion was sent first. Wrong people arrived early. Attachments formed quickly and dissolved painfully. Those were not failures. They were distractions designed to exhaust you before the real thing arrived. But you are still here, which means the strategy failed. Type Amen if your spirit feels stirred, not emotional. Stirred. That response is not for engagement. It is alignment. Now listen closely. Your soulmate has been closer than you realize. At times, paths nearly crossed. Moments almost collided. But heaven restrained the meeting because timing matters more than proximity. Had you met too soon, you would not have recognized each other. One of you would have been too wounded, too guarded, too unsure. So heaven waited. And while you waited, you were shaped. Your discernment sharpened. Your tolerance for illusion disappeared. Your soul learned the difference between chemistry and covenant. That is why what is coming will feel sudden, even though it has been prepared for years. Here is the truth most people never hear. When the name of your soulmate becomes clear, it will not excite your ego. It will calm your nervous system. There will be no chase, no anxiety, no confusion. Your spirit will simply say, there you are. And this may shock you. The name may not belong to the person you expected, not the one you imagined, not the one you tried to force. Because heaven does not consult your past wounds when assigning your future. Stay present now. The name is not revealed through obsession. It is revealed through stillness. That is why distractions are falling away. Why certain connections suddenly feel empty. Why silence no longer scares you the way it used to. You are being positioned. And yes, the signs will increase. Repeated numbers, unplanned conversations, messages you almost ignored, moments that feel small but linger longer than they should. Do not rush to label them. Just notice. Heaven does not shout names. It echoes them until your spirit remembers. If this message is resonating deeper than logic, press like, not for the platform, but as a physical act of agreement. Small acts of agreement open larger doors. Now hear this warning gently, but firmly. Do not settle in the final stretch. The enemy's last tactic is urgency without peace. Anything that pressures you, rushes you, or confuses your clarity is not from God. Your soulmate will not arrive with chaos. They will arrive with confirmation. And when the name finally lands, whether in prayer, in a dream, or through an unexpected voice, your body will react before your mind does. That reaction is the signal. This message found you because the timeline has shifted. What was delayed is moving. What was hidden is surfacing. Stay open, stay watchful, and stay until the end of this message. Because what is about to be revealed next will explain why now and why this connection cannot be stopped. If you feel called, subscribe. Not because you need more content, but because alignment continues. Where attention stays, the revelation has begun. Now listen carefully, because this is where many people lose focus. The moment heaven begins to move, fear tries to speak louder than faith. You may feel excitement rise, and immediately after, doubt attempts to follow. That is not coincidence. That is resistance responding to alignment. Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, do not mistake calm for delay. Do not mistake silence for absence. Right now, heaven is arranging details you cannot yet see. Your soulmate is not idle. They are being prepared just as intensely as you were. There were lessons they had to learn without you. Strength they had to build alone. Attachments they had to release before they could recognize you without projection or fear. You were spared meeting them too early, not because you were unworthy, but because the union required maturity, not longing. That is why past connections felt close but never complete. Why something was always missing. Why even love felt exhausting instead of nourishing. Those relationships were mirrors, not matches. Now, hear this truth without softening it. The name you are about to recognize carries authority in the spirit realm. That is why darkness tried to bury it under noise. That is why confusion surrounded it. That is why certain people entered your life carrying similar energy, similar letters, similar patterns, but never the full resonance. Those were decoys. The true name carries peace, not obsession, clarity, not urgency, strength, not emotional addiction. When it comes into your awareness fully, you will not need to convince yourself. You will not need reassurance from others. Your spirit will already be standing at attention. This is how divine recognition works. And yes, the shock you were warned about is not dramatic shock. It is the shock of realization. The realization that heaven was precise, that nothing was wasted, that every almost protected you from a permanent misalignment. Archangel Michael says, "You were never late. You were being refined." Let that settle. Some of you are wondering, why now? Why does this feel closer than ever? Because you stopped begging. You stopped chasing. You stopped negotiating with loneliness. The moment you chose wholeness over desperation, the timeline shifted. That choice signaled heaven that you were ready to receive without losing yourself. Now listen to this next part with seriousness. When the name begins to surface more frequently, you may feel tempted to test it, to rush confirmation, to force interaction. Do not. Divine connections are not activated through force. They are activated through alignment. The more still you become, the louder the confirmation will be. That is why patience right now is power. Archangel Michael says, "The one whose name is written beside yours is already feeling the pull. They may not understand it yet, but their spirit does. They are being nudged, redirected, pulled away from things that no longer fit. You are not chasing each other. You are being magnetized. And magnets only work when resistance is removed. That is why heaven has been stripping distractions. That is why your tolerance for surface-level connection is gone. That is why your soul refuses to settle. This is not loneliness. This is discernment activating. Type Amen if you feel this truth resonate quietly, not emotionally. Now hear this clearly. The enemy's final attempt will be familiarity. Someone may come offering comfort without depth, connection without growth, affection without alignment. It will feel easy, and that is the test. Your soulmate will not feel easy at first. They will feel right. Right often requires courage. Right often requires honesty. Right often asks you to stay present instead of perform. That is how you will know. And when the name is finally spoken or remembered, there will be a pause in you. A pause where time seems to slow. A pause where your heart feels exposed but safe. That pause is sacred. Do not rush past it. Heaven speaks in pauses. If you are still listening, it means your spirit recognizes this voice. And if this message keeps pulling you back, subscribe, not out of habit, but because alignment compounds when you stay attentive. What comes next will explain how the recognition unfolds and what to do when the confirmation becomes undeniable. Stay here. You are closer than you think. There is something important you must understand now, because this is where destiny either unfolds smoothly or becomes delayed by interference. Archangel Michael speaks with urgency, not fear. My beloved child, recognition does not always arrive as excitement. Sometimes it arrives as clarity so sharp it feels almost uncomfortable. When the name begins to anchor itself in your awareness, your past will try to speak. Old wounds may rise. Memories of betrayal may surface. Your mind may whisper, "What if this ends the same way?" That voice is not intuition. That voice is memory trying to protect itself. Do not confuse the two. True intuition is calm. It does not rush. It does not shout. It simply knows. That is why this connection has waited until now. Because earlier versions of you would have mistaken anxiety for chemistry and confusion for passion. But not anymore. You have outgrown emotional chaos. Now listen carefully to this next truth, because it carries weight. Your soulmate will not activate your wounds. They will expose them gently, so they can finally heal. This is why the union carries power. It is not meant to distract you from your purpose. It is meant to amplify it. The name you are aligning with is not just romantic. It is functional in the spirit. That is why heaven guarded it. That is why delay was necessary. Archangel Michael says, this union carries assignment, and assignment requires readiness. Some of you are sensing resistance around this message, not from within, but from your environment. People around you may seem restless. Distractions may increase. Interruptions may multiply. This is not random. When heaven begins to converge timelines, opposition increases noise. Remain steady. The more grounded you stay, the faster alignment completes. Now hear this carefully. The name will not appear because you search harder. It will appear because you stop searching. The moment you release the need to figure it out, recognition finds you. This may happen in a dream that feels unusually vivid, in a conversation that lingers longer than expected, in a name spoken casually that suddenly feels heavy with meaning. When that happens, do not analyze it immediately. Let it settle. Divine confirmation unfolds in layers, not explosions. Your body will know before your logic catches up. A warmth in your chest, a stillness in your breath, a sense of familiarity without history. That is how eternal connections register. And yes, this may unsettle you, because part of you has grown used to waiting. Waiting became your identity. Hope became something you managed, not something you trusted. But waiting is ending. Now alignment begins. Archangel Michael says, do not announce this prematurely. Sacred things grow best in privacy. Not everyone needs to know what you are sensing. Not everyone deserves access to what is forming. Protection is not secrecy. Protection is discernment. The more you guard this space, the stronger the connection becomes. And here is something few are told. Your soulmate may already know your name, not consciously, but spiritually. They may feel drawn to a type of energy they cannot explain. They may feel dissatisfaction with connections that once satisfied them. They may feel an unexplainable pull toward growth, clarity, and truth. That pull is you. Alignment works in both directions. Now listen to this with focus. When the name becomes clear, action will be required, but not forced action. You may be nudged to go somewhere you almost declined, to respond to a message you nearly ignored, to stay present in a moment you might have rushed through. These nudges matter. Heaven does not drag people together. It arranges proximity and waits for obedience. Your obedience does not mean effort. It means awareness. Stay aware. And if your heart feels stirred again, press like, not for visibility, but because agreement strengthens signal. Now, this next part is crucial. The enemy cannot stop what is aligned, but it can delay what is doubted. That is why fear will attempt subtle sabotage through overthinking, through comparison, through impatience. Do not fall for it. Your union does not require you to become someone else. It requires you to stay exactly as you are, grounded, clear, and open. Archangel Michael says, the closer the revelation, the quieter the instruction. So if things feel strangely calm right now, do not panic. Calm is not stagnation. Calm is convergence. Stay here, because what follows will explain what happens after recognition and why this connection changes more than just your love life. If you feel drawn to remain in this space, subscribe. Alignment continues where attention stays. The moment you have been sensing, is approaching, and it will not look how you imagined. It will feel inevitable. Now we arrive at the point where truth becomes clear. This is where destiny no longer stays quiet and begins gently arranging things into place. Archangel Michael speaks with calm authority. My beloved child, once recognition occurs, there is no returning to who you were before, not because everything changes instantly, but because you do. When the name finally settles into certainty, something subtle yet lasting happens within you. Your tolerance for misalignment fades. Your patience for emotional confusion dissolves. Your spirit no longer entertains uncertainty. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. And alignment naturally challenges anything built on illusion. That is why, shortly after recognition, you may notice movement around you, not within you, around you. People may test limits. Situations may ask for clarity. Old patterns may briefly resurface. Remain calm. This is not loss. This is release. Life is gently removing what no longer belongs in your next chapter. Archangel Michael says, you are not being burdened. You are being made lighter. The connection you are approaching requires emotional openness, inner honesty, and a sense of calm within the body and mind. Anything that disrupts those qualities will naturally fall away. Now listen carefully, because this matters. Your soulmate will not complete you. They will affirm you. They will not rescue you from past pain. They will walk beside you as healing continues. They will not expect performance. They will respond to sincerity. That is how you will know this is real. When interaction begins, quietly or clearly, you will notice a difference. No struggle for control. No confusion about intention. No emotional turbulence. Even if there is hesitation, it will be honest hesitation. Even if there is space, it will be respectful space. This connection does not create restlessness. It eases it. Archangel Michael says, this love does not arrive to overwhelm your life. It arrives to steady it. That is why it feels quieter than fantasy. That is why it feels grounded rather than dramatic. Drama is not destiny. Peace is. Now, some of you may wonder something important. What if I miss it? Hear this clearly. You cannot miss what is aligned. You may slow it through fear. You may complicate it through overthinking. But you cannot lose what is meant for you. Alignment continues until readiness meets recognition. That is why patience has surrounded you. And yes, this connection brings effects beyond romance. Creativity expands. Confidence steadies. Discernment sharpens. You stop seeking validation because harmony replaces it. That is the quiet gift of this bond. Archangel Michael says, when meaningful love enters, inner stability follows. Now this next instruction is gentle but important. Do not fixate on outcomes. Do not turn the name into obsession. Do not turn the person into expectation. They are human. So are you. What makes this meaningful is not perfection. It is alignment. Allow the connection to unfold naturally. Life does not rush what is meant to last. If pauses appear, do not assume loss. Sometimes pauses allow integration. And if progress feels slow, do not interfere. Slow does not mean stuck. Slow means intentional. Type Amen if you are willing to trust the process without forcing the pace. Now hear this with care. This is the stage where many people step back, not because they are weak, but because calm feels unfamiliar. When peace arrives, it can feel strangely quiet. Do not confuse calm with emptiness. This connection will feel different from anything before. Less intense, more steady. That is how you know it is genuine. Archangel Michael says, "The love that endures does not exhaust you. It supports you. Stay grounded. Stay present." And if you feel this message settling gently within you, press like, not for approval, but as a quiet acknowledgement. Remain here, because what follows explains what strengthens this connection, why timing begins to move more clearly, and why the closing of this message carries an important choice. The alignment is nearly complete. Stay attentive. Stay with me. This is the moment where everything quietly settles into place. Not with noise, not with spectacle, but with certainty. Archangel Michael speaks now, with calm assurance and grace. My beloved child, there is a quiet seal placed on aligned connections, and that seal is peace. When recognition completes not just of a name, but of the deeper truth behind it, you will notice something unmistakable. You stop asking questions, not because you have all the answers, but because your inner knowing no longer needs proof. This is how truth confirms what is real. The waiting fades without announcement. The searching ends without celebration. You simply arrive. And here is the part few are prepared for. When alignment settles, life does not pause, it becomes clearer. You still have responsibilities. You still have routines. But your inner world steadies. Love stops feeling like effort. Faith stops feeling heavy. Hope stops feeling uncertain. This is the quiet reward of patience. Archangel Michael says, "You were not kept from love. You were gently preserved for it." Now, listen carefully to this final guidance, because it carries meaning. Do not rush to define the connection. Allow it space to breathe. Meaningful bonds grow through presence, not pressure. Labels arrive naturally. Direction reveals itself in time. The moment you try to control the unfolding, tension enters something that was built on trust. So remain grounded. And when doubt tries to whisper, because it may attempt one last time, remember this. Doute arrive loud. Truth arrives calm. Return to calm. Now, there is a reason this message required your full attention. Not everyone would stay this long. Not everyone could. If you are still here, it means your inner awareness was ready to receive what others might scroll past. That is not coincidence. That is readiness. Archangel Michael says, "Clarity is revealed to focused hearts." You were drawn here because you were ready to listen without grasping, to receive without forcing, and to trust without panic. That readiness is what allows momentum to build. From this point forward, things begin to shift not outwardly at first, but inwardly. Clarity increases. Distractions lose appeal. Your standards rise without effort. This is alignment taking root. And when the moment comes when the name is spoken, recognized, or quietly remembered, do not rush to announce it. Honor it. Some things are meant to be lived before they are shared. Awareness remains important even after realization. Now hear this final truth, and let it settle deeply. Nothing that is meant for you will require you to abandon yourself. Your soulmate will not ask you to shrink. They will not compete with your growth. They will not unsettle your peace. They will meet you where you are present, aware, and grounded. That is why the timing unfolded this way. Archangel Michael says, this connection is not an escape. It is an expansion. Let that be your confirmation. If this message has spoken directly to you, subscribe, not out of habit, but because clarity continues where attention stays focused. And before you leave, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Notice how your body feels. That calm you feel right now, that is not imagination. That is recognition gently aligning beneath the surface. The name will come. The timing will make sense. And when it does, you will not need another sign, because your inner knowing will already be steady. Do not rush. Do not force. Do not doubt. What is meant for you is already moving toward you, and nothing meant for you will miss you.